Hello folks, I'm Alex, this is Alex Unabridged, and these are my reading plans for August. So welcome back to the channel if that is the case. Yes, time to have a little look ahead to next month, because we're nearly there now, we're nearly in August, and see what I've got on my reading lists for next month. So I will dive straight into it with my science fiction reading for next month as part of my Science Fiction for the Somewhat Hesitant project, my big old science fiction project, trying to read my way through some of the classic science fiction. We're still in the phase of the project which is great books, great movies, so there will be a movie to go alongside each of these two books as well. And the first one is this one, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or The Body Snatchers as the book is called. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is the film, I believe, and this is by Jack Finney. So for anyone who doesn't know this, this is the blurb. Dr. Miles Bennell has lived there all his life, but one day Miles sees a patient who claims her uncle isn't himself. He's a different person, despite being identical in every way except one. He is only pretending to have emotions. Miles dismisses this as delusions and refers her to a psychiatrist. Then he finds the pods, giant seed pods, filled with a strange grey substance. A strange grey substance that can slowly become a perfect replica of a person. But what has happened to the people being replicated? So yes, this one is one that I can't believe I haven't read in the past. This sounds right up my street. I'm very excited to get into this one and to watch the film. Again, another film that I can't believe that I've never seen. This one was one of Troy's suggestions, Troy Tradup, who is my partner in crime essentially for this project. He's the reason why this project exists, and a lot of the books are his suggestions, and this was one of his. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to that one. The second book for this month is one of my picks, or I think Troy might have suggested it as well, and that is Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. This, of course, is the book, I think it's a novella potentially, that the film The Thing was based on. Now I love The Thing. Who doesn't love The Thing? The John Carpenter movie. So yeah, this is the kind of the inspiration for that. So I can't wait to read. I love like reading stuff that I've loved the films of. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to diving into that and having another excuse to watch the film again. Okay, next up then is the author that I'm going to be focusing some attention on in August. And I've kind of gone for somebody who is maybe a little bit trashy, seeing as we're about to go into GarbAugust. Certainly on the trashier side of science fiction. And that is Michael Crichton. I've only ever read Jurassic Park by Crichton before, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great fun book. I still prefer the movie, but I did really enjoy the book, and I've wanted to read some more since. So I've picked a couple of audiobooks for this. The first one is Micro, and I've picked this one mainly from my sister's recommendation. She has read this, she loves Michael Crichton. And she said this is ridiculous, and that I should read it as soon as possible. And that was at the beginning of the year when she told me that. So I think we're actually going to do a buddy read, me and my sis, on this one. She's going to reread it with me, or re-listen to it with me. And the blurb for this one then is, 3 men are found dead in a locked second-floor office in Honolulu. There's no sign of a struggle, though their bodies are covered in ultra-fine, razor-sharp cuts. With no evidence, the police dismiss it as a bizarre suicide pact. But the murder weapon is still in the room, almost invisible to the human eye. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, 7 graduate students at the forefront of their fields are recruited by a pioneering microbiology startup company. Nanogen Microtechnologies sends them to a mysterious laboratory in Hawaii, where they're promised access to tools that will open up a whole new scientific frontier. But this opportunity of a lifetime will teach them the true cost of existing at the cutting edge. So yes, I have no idea what to expect from this other than, if my sister's correct, ridiculousness. And the second Michael Crichton book, which I will be reading or listening to, is Sphere. Again, another one I don't really know much about. My sister liked it, not as much as Micro, but she liked it. I've kind of gone with her sort of suggestions on this. And this one is about a group of American scientists who are sent to the ocean floor to investigate an alien ship, only to confront a terrifying discovery that defies imagination. So yes, a couple of Michael Crichtons, as I say, not necessarily the trashiest stuff I could pick, but seeing as we're in GarbAugust, I think Michael Crichton certainly edges into that sort of science fiction. So yes, that'll be interesting. I'm very much looking forward to reading some more of Crichton's stuff. Okay, what else? Well, GarbAugust, obviously. It's going to be a heavy month of trashy fiction and movies this month. Trashy times are ahead, but I'm going to do a full pile of possibilities separately for GarbAugust, because otherwise we will be here all day. And that pile of possibilities will be out next Wednesday on GarbAugust Eve. So if you're interested in finding out more about what my trashy reading is going to be for the month, then tune in for that then. Okay, what else have I got on the list? Yes, I have got one thing which I do need to get read because I've got an advanced reader copy of it, and that is The Incubations by Ramsey Campbell. I was searching NetGalley recently and saw Ramsey Campbell's name and kind of went, oh, new Ramsey Campbell. I've only ever read short stories by Campbell. I do have The Doll Who Ate His Mother on the shelf just here, which I haven't got to yet. But what I've read of Ramsey Campbell's short stories I've really liked. So I thought, yes, about time I try something full length. And why not go for something that's not even out yet? This is out in November, so I do need to get to it and read it and review it. The blurb for this then is, Leo Parker's stay in Alphafen seems idyllic, but after he leaves, the nightmares begin. An airport turns into a labyrinth, his own words become treacherous if not lethal, and what are those creatures in the photographs he took? Even the therapy Leo undertakes becomes a source of menace. Perhaps Leo has roused an ancient Alpine legend. Even once he understands what he brought back, his attempts to overcome its influence may lead to greater nightmares still. Yeah, I really liked the sound of that. That sounds creepy and mysterious, and I'm definitely up for giving that a crack. Okay, the only other things then on the list for this month are some, what I'm calling trash pile palette cleansers. As I say, it's going to be a heavy, trashy month, which I am so looking forward to and I love. But I think sometimes I just need a little something in between those trashy reads, just as a palette cleanser. So all of these will be short, non-trashy stories that are antidotes to the trashy stuff. They must be short. They must be things that I can read like on my lunch break or with my breakfast or something like that. So I've got a few short story collections from people like Edgar Allan Poe, Sheridan Le Fanu. I've got some collections of kind of, Hugo award-winning sci-fi short stories, things like that. And I'm also going to try some poetry. A good buddy of mine, who shall remain nameless for the time being, has been writing quite a bit of poetry and sending me their stuff to have a look over. And it's kind of got me interested in poetry. I've been writing a little bit myself, and I just want to read around a bit more poetry. I'm very dense when it comes to poetry. I know very little about it. So I've got a couple of poetry books on Kindle Unlimited that I'm going to have a look at. The first one is 100 Prized Poems, 25 Years of the Forward Books. And this is an anthology of 100 poems by 100 poets, including people like Simon Armitage, Caroline Duffy, Ted Hughes, Seamus Heaney, Jackie Kay, amongst others. So some big names in British poetry, and some former, poet laureates in there as well. So yes, so that's one that I think would be good to dip in and out of and find poems by poets that I know and I know of, and also some that I don't. And then the other poetry book is one called Not Your Orlando by Jamie Locke, George Parker, and J.P. Seabright. And this is described as a raw and tender gender and gender fluid collaboration poetry pamphlet that glistens with sex and sweat. JP, George, and Jamie explore life at the margins, the politics of sex and identity, the protest songs of late night dive bars, and the reality of being different in a straitjacketed world. Strap on and strap in, it's going to be a bumpy ride. I thought, yes, some queer poetry, some, gender variant poetry, about being gender fluid and just different. And that sounds right up my street, quite frankly. And certainly because some of the poetry that I am writing, or most of the poetry that I'm writing, is queer stuff. That is probably a good place to start in terms of, having a look at what else is out there and how other people do it. As I say, I'm completely dense when it comes to poetry. But I want to learn. I want to learn more. I've come across a few poets recently, in the last year or so, where I've kind of gone, oh, okay, I can understand this. I think I'd got bogged down in the sort of, the old school poetry, the Shelley and the Byrons and stuff like that, Tennyson, etc., where I find it very difficult because of the language, even Shakespeare. Whereas if I come to some more modern stuff, and stuff that I can relate to, hopefully, as well, then that should be a good place to start. So we'll give that a go, and I think those will both be, or all of the poems will probably be a good antidote or a palate cleanser for the trashy stuff that I will be reading in August. So there we go. Those are my plans for August, my August reading. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, do drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do let me know if there's anything on this list that you've read and what you thought of it, or if there's anything that I've mentioned that has piqued your interest and you might end up reading as well. I will be back on Sunday with my weekly vlog number 4. So I do hope you will join me for that then. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.